There we go. I'm going to go back and start over. Sorry about that. See, we had a problem with my voice stuff there. All right, we'll start again. That you know who I am. We're hosted by, here's our technical services team. And let's start here. Fighting refrigerant leaks can be frustrating, okay, at times. Many options of tools out there to be used, and we're going to discuss some of them at this time. One of the most common devices used is soap bubbles, spray on, dabber bubbles. Oh boy, dabber bubbles. One of the easiest way to find a leak if you can pinpoint in the area. These have been around for many years. They're available through many different wholesalers, commercially available. So one of the most common things that and easy to carry around and use today. It's kind of interesting. I found an article about how you can make your own soap bubbles if you want, talking about filling a quart jar with clean water, 3 tablespoons of a dish detergent, and 2 teaspoons of liquid glycerin. And they say the glycerin helps make the bubbles last longer. So kind of a neat, interesting thing that's been out there for years as well. You can make your own if you need. Back when I first started in the refrigeration business, one of the only leak detectors that we had out there were called halide torches. I want to thank Colin Wonder for sending me these pretty rare photos of a Frigidaire halide torch. And the interesting thing about a halide torch, and I'm going to get to the next here, is that it has an open flame. And typically the halide torches have been used with propane, acetylene, which are probably the most common ones. And when it creates a negative draft, it sucks up air particles through the little hose. And as the air particles go up, if there's refrigerant in it, the flame and refrigerant act upon the copper strip that's inside of it, and it will cause it to turn color. And it can also give you a little bit of smell of phosgene gas if your nose is close into the airstream from the burning flame. But these were pretty common use back in the early days. In fact, when I first started business in the early 80s, this is what our company had. Obviously, we advanced as we grew a little bit older. UV fluorescent dyes are very commonplace today as well. You can inject fluorescent dye into a refrigeration system by a method such as this injector tool, where you can bypass high refrigerant and push the chemical into the suction line and let it circulate. Very common item today. One of the issues with this, it takes time for it to circulate, and you may have to wait 24 hours before you can actually do a leak check and get the dye to move through the system. So again, it's effective, but it can also be a headache of having to come back again on another service call. During the development of refrigerant leak detectors, the electronic detection seems to be the most common place today, with many different types of electronic devices. Some are better than others, some aren't quite so good. I'm going to show you one that I really like and have used for years, but not saying that they're all bad. You have to get used to it. You have to learn how to make each one work. I find that one of the biggest problems with electronics, if you bring it into an area that may be contaminated, the leak detector doesn't know what it's doing, and it may sense the surrounding air. So I always recommend take your tool to a fresh atmosphere, get it balanced, get it in sync with the atmosphere that it is, then go into the area where you start looking for leaks. Then you can assure yourself that the leak detector is in tune and set up and programmed properly. The instruction manuals that come with all these leak detectors are very important to pay attention to. There's filters in them. There's actually electric heating element sensors that can be replaced. So you've got to have confidence in what you use and trust a leak detector of your choice. I have used many leak detectors, battery operated ones in my life, and I've thrown most all of them away because for some reason they don't seem to work as good as another one that I like, and I'll show you here in a shortly. These do work. If you find that they work good for you, really good. Glad that it works for you. Trust them. Make sure you can trust it. Don't give yourself up that, hey, I can't find a leak. The leak detector is no good. And maybe just because you're not operating it properly. So this is one brand that I have used in the past. Here's another one. Okay, made by Inficon. Make good leak detectors. You may like it to make it work. Trust what you have, read the instruction manuals, enjoy and do a good job with it. Don't give up, don't be frustrated. If you start getting frustrated with any of your leak detectors, go outside with it, get it fresh air, clean it out, come back and start over again. These are all good products that help us in our industry. Now, this is the one that I prefer the most, okay? As you can see, it's a product that I use. Since I got in this business in the early, early 80s, these were made by a company called Yokogawa, and they've been since passed on to different brands. Backrack, I think, now owns them. A company called Mars sells them. You'll find these with different brand names on them. The one thing I really like about this is battery operated, and it can also be done with electrical operated. The sensitivity of the H10 series has been phenomenal throughout the years. You can pick up leaks less than 1/4 of an ounce per year. But you got to remember one thing is air movement across where you're leaking creates problems. Checking if you got fan blowing, it isn't going to work. Shut down everything so you're doing your best due diligence. I used to be able to take this wand that comes with this and run it through an Airstream and refrigeration supermarkets, and you could pick up a leak in that case coming from one end to the other. Works very, very good. I'm not saying that the other ones don't work as well, but a lot of our employees at Intertech prefer the H10 series, which is now into the Pro battery operated one. Very good, but any of them can be work well as long as you follow instructions. Make sure that they're clean in air, make sure your filters are clean, make sure any sensors are up to date and current and are being replaced. You'll have good luck with finding leaks. And that's all I got today. Nice, short, and quick. Sorry about the headache with the voice control there for a bit, but if you guys got any questions or anything, send us questions to technicalservices@intertechgeo.com or call me direct, and we'll give you some help as whatever we can do. So you guys have a great day, and thanks again for tuning in. Appreciate it.